Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. Today's video is my May No Buy update. These have come to be staples on my channel and honestly some of my favorite videos to film. We have an interesting month on our hands, a lot to update on. So I'm first going to start off with what I bought. After last month, I feel as though the only way to really go is up, and I did not buy, I did not break my no buy. So there's no mountain of clothes to show you today. So I did buy a couple of things. I did buy about 3 things other than groceries and food. So the first thing I bought isn't something that was included initially in my no buy prohibited items, but it was something that I did buy, and I also bought it with my budget, and it was a power bar. I think that's what they're called. The long bars that have multiple outlets you can plug into. Mine was old and started sparking, so that immediately went out and I did buy a new one. That was not something I waited 7 days for because it's an everyday item, also not technically on the list. I was thinking about these things when I bought it. You know, does it qualify as part of my no buy? Should I wait? And I decided not to because it's not the same thing as running out of a shampoo or a foundation. I have no other replacements. We checked for replacements and that's kind of as good as I can get. So I did buy one. That was about $25. And then I did buy 2 other things. And I bought a body wash, and I also bought an acne treatment, a Benzagel. I bought the Benzagel because I had no other acne fighting items left other than my face mask, and that wasn't really cutting it. So I did wait on this one. I actually bought these 2 things together. So I waited on both of them. They were pretty clear needs for me. Again, as I've said in a couple of videos, my acne has been a little bit more on a flare up as of late. So I wanted to combat that. I waited, I bought it, and no regrets there. The body wash that I bought was for a very specific reason. So I still have some body wash products left. However, I have been getting acne on my body as well, and I have not had that since high school. We're talking almost a decade, and it was getting pretty bad and also pretty painful. And I'm pretty sure that the body wash I was using was really making it worse. It is extremely fragranced, and I was not using that in January. It was something that I rolled in over time as I had finished my initial product. And ever since then, it had been getting worse. So I did buy this product specifically for body acne, and I've been washing only those affected areas with the product and then using up that scented item elsewhere. I feel as though it's only been a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks. I feel as though it's been beneficial, it's been working. So I'm pretty happy with that. These 2 products made me think about my no buy in a bit of a new way. I was thinking about what kinds of products or situations have I been in that have made me feel as though it's worth breaking my no buy. I'm not gonna go the rest of the year without having an acne kind of fighting item. It just seems silly and almost like being a purist or punishing myself. Oh, I didn't put it on the list, so I can't buy it, even though I'm over here feeling like shit or not feeling great about my acne and knowing that there's something that I can do about it. And I have no regrets about that. The same as with the body lotion. Body wash. I do have other body wash, and I'm not just gonna go finish it up for the sake of finishing it up and potentially make things worse. I can tell you that at the very least, things are not any worse. They were progressively getting worse. They were never getting better. And now actually I feel as though things are getting better. So I'm very pleased about that. There are really no more new breakouts on my body, and that's just kind of what I want. And so I'm heading in the right direction there. I'm going to talk a little bit about some thoughts on this month and some of the things that happened. So the first thing that happened at the very beginning of the month was probably one of the worst. And you need a little context to understand. I'm going to be as concise as possible. As a graduate student in the social sciences and the humanities, we apply for a very specific national award. And this award in my discipline is essentially essential to win if you want to go anywhere. So getting this award in your master's makes it easier for you to get it in your PhD. Getting it in your PhD makes it easier for you to get it in your postdoc, or if you are working at a school as a professor for your own personal research. If you don't get it as a PhD student, it's more difficult to get it for research grants later in life or as a postdoc. It's also something that is almost universally in my country an award that employers look for when they are hiring you in that field. So if you want to work in academia, the people who are generally going to get picked are people who win this award. It's a very extremely prestigious award, and there are many, there's a few hundred, actually maybe a few thousand that go out every year. So for me, I applied for, well, you apply every year. So at the school I'm at, there's a couple of steps for applying for this award. You apply to your department picks a handful to go on to your school. So the history department will pick, and then they'll send those applicants to the graduate studies. So all of the graduate students in social sciences and the humanities, they will get pulled together, and then my school will send out a number to the office in Ottawa to look at all of the applications from across Canada. So that's how it works. I made it through the first two, and I made it into the last and national pool, and we heard back around the beginning of May. As you probably have been gathering from this buildup, I did not win the award, and it was quite heartbreaking because one of the things about me personally is that I have continued to doubt my own intelligence and ability in my academic life. And for a long time, I didn't believe that. I think just a lot of imposter syndrome that, like, what am I doing here? Am I good enough or as good as other people? Look at all of my peers who have won this award in their first year. And look at me, I didn't really believe in myself and my abilities and also this application. And eventually I got to believing that, yeah, maybe I can win this. Maybe this is something that I can do. And I did not win. It was heartbreaking, not just because somebody doesn't believe in your research or find it valuable. It does hurt, but that wasn't the only thing. The biggest thing that upset me is that you only have a certain number of tries to apply. I believe it's 4. You can only apply for a specific number of months into your research. And if you are somebody who's also a PhD student in the social sciences and humanities in Canada, you probably know the exact award I am referring to. But anyways, so I would like to be in academia. That is the job that I would like to have. And so getting this award makes getting a job in an already difficult job market easier. And not winning an award makes getting a job extremely difficult, if not impossible, because it's almost like an application criteria. Employers and universities often hire recipients of these awards. I've used 2 attempts. I have about 2 attempts left. And so it puts the pressure on, it puts the pressure on of you have to do better. You have to win this award, or your employment opportunities in the future are going to be extremely small, if not minuscule. And I was feeling like complete garbage for about a week. I was really upset about it. I was upset because I was thinking about, I've been in school in some capacity working towards this end goal since 2012. It's been 8 years. I've been in school for 8 years and I have another 3 more to go. So imagine yourself in my shoes, being in school for 11 years, and imagine after that not being able to get a job. Almost feeling as though those 11 years were a waste of your time and a waste of your life. That's kind of the position that I was thinking about. I'm not trying to say that a PhD is a waste of your life or as though I've learned nothing. I've learned some incredibly useful skills, and many PhDs in my discipline will pivot to work in other areas. However, what I mean by I feel as though it could be a waste of my time or a waste of life, because if you spend 11 years working for something only for it to be almost impossible to use that degree to get the job that you want, like that's the reason why for many people you do this degree in the first place, is to get a specific job. I want to be a historian. I want to work in academia. And so I need to get this degree to do that. And I hope that these kinds of connections are clear to you. Anyways, I was quite upset for about a week. Just these thoughts of, am I wasting my time? Am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what I should be doing? And there could have been some really destructive behavior there, and there almost was. This story is honestly incredibly important to me and incredibly personal and vulnerable to be talking about, because I'm sharing with the internet my own personal feelings about my craft, if you will. The thing that gives me so much, that I've like structured my life around. It gives me so much hope, and it's what I want to do with my life. So I hope you can understand that as well, and why I could have been so upset about it. And there was a lot of filling my cart up at Sephora, filling my cart up at Aritzia, filling my cart up at many stores with hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, just not giving a shit. I was just kind of done, and just like, I don't care if this is fast fashion. I just don't care if this is what I should be doing. I stopped caring, and I was so upset about it. I did eventually pull myself together, and blasting through some of my own personal work and just trying to reduce that imposter syndrome. And I think a lot of people in a lot of fields feel that imposter syndrome, and I don't always feel it. This was just a particularly cute moment. But I also needed to take a break. I feel as though the logical next step is to think, well, how do I improve my application for next year? May was just not the headspace to think about it. Just needed to let it go, to move on. And I think for me in May, one of the best or proudest moments I can say is that I didn't pull the trigger on anything. Nothing was an emotional purchase. Nothing was out of not caring, not giving a fuck. I could have so easily, and we could have had a way worse situation on our hands than last month. It never happened, and I'm proud of myself for that. But I also think that there needs to be some personal work done on this whole award situation and being able to fully get past it academically. But that's that. And that's why the beginning of the month was so incredibly hard. I was also thinking after this situation that it was a close call, and I was following a lot of the behaviors of April. And so I was wondering, why was April such a hard month, and also this early part of May? Before the pandemic started, I had about 2 months worth of no-buy experience under my belt. And you might think that being in a pandemic would make this easier. You're not going out as much or having any really social or work kinds of occurrences happening. So you don't need that kind of wardrobe for that. You're more casual, more inside. You don't really need to buy anything. But here is what I think has been so difficult. We're all being asked, including myself, to cope during a global pandemic. And this whole situation has been extremely difficult and extremely hard. Having only 2 months worth of no-buy experience means that I've only really had 2 months worth of practice. I was a pretty big novice when this came about. And so the coping strategies that I've had available to me are how I've coped in the past, which has been through emotional spending and not really caring and just buying stuff. It's not quite that simple, but I think you know what I mean. So this is really a big ask, and we're not just for me, but we're all asking ourselves to cope, which is a big ask for all of us. And if this pandemic never happened, I wouldn't be asking myself to cope, and not just to cope, but to cope with this incredibly scary and drawn out global situation. Coping and how I've coped is a skill, and we develop our coping mechanisms and our coping skills over time. I haven't really developed a healthy way to do that yet, and I'm doing that in a pandemic. So it's been a bit more challenging, and that's why I've kind of gone back to old habits and old comforts that are safe or at least just comfortable. May was also a hard time because after a couple of weeks, I was feeling really unmotivated and uninspired. I started running at the end of April, and I was so motivated and pumped to start that journey, and I was doing that with my partner. But at around the middle of the month, that also began to wane, and I couldn't quite figure out why I was feeling this kind of slump. It couldn't have been that award, and I was trying to think, what's happening? What's going on? Why am I feeling this way? And recently I began to kind of put the pieces together. At the end of April, I finished my teaching contract. It ended after I marked all the final papers. So I was dealing with students for all of March and all of April. I was still teaching, still leading tutorials, still conducting exam reviews, marking their papers, all of that stuff. And I love my students. I also love TAing. It's actually quite a joy. But that stopped in April. I was no longer going to school, going to see my partner, even doing some of the small things that I really enjoy and love in life. I'm not going to get into all of the things that have brought me joy, but I wasn't doing any of them. I wasn't seeing anybody or doing anything other than my work in my own home, maybe working out and filming some YouTube stuff. I realized that all the things that brought me joy and happiness and all the things that gave me something to look forward to were gone. I used to look forward to seeing my partner. That's one of the best joys in my life, and I couldn't even look forward to seeing him. And so it was like I was living my life in this cycle of like wake up, do work, and there was no end in sight. There was nothing to look forward to. And this affected me in a lot of ways. For my schedule, I'm a pretty standard person. I follow a pretty standard schedule. That's what I mean. I wake up without an alarm around 8 a.m. every day, between 8 and 8:30, and I go to bed between 11 and 12 every week. That's, if you were to look at me or look at my habits throughout most of the year, that's kind of what it's been. And same with my diet, pretty consistent. All these things went out of whack. Me staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning is extremely unheard of and rare, and it does get many of the people in my life to question and they take a second look, take a pause. So my schedule was out of whack, my diet was out of whack. It was just affecting me really in a really hard way. I was feeling so uninspired for YouTube, for my own life, my work. My life was feeling almost empty. After being aware of this, I realized that I have to put in a lot of work to bring back those joys and those things to look forward to create goals to meet them, to re-inspire myself. And that's slowly what I've been doing, and it's really affected my mood, my productivity for the majority of the month. But we're going to pivot now from like how I'm doing to some kind of bigger thoughts. After I filmed that what I bought in April video, I talked about, well, in that video, I talked about feeling that anxiety about those purchases. Just having so many items in my room worth such a high value, at least to me, just gave me anxiety. I wanted to return it. I didn't want it. I just wanted it out of my life. It gave me that old anxiety, and I talked about it. It did really affect me for a few days, and I did return my items that same day that I filmed that video. But that anxiety didn't really last long. I realized I was getting excited to make purchases. I was looking for things to run out, or looking at what was going to run out next so I could potentially replace them. Just looking around my bathroom, okay, what's going to be finished next so I can look for its replacement. I was obsessing about these things. So one of the first things that I think is going to go is going to be my face wash. I've talked about it before. So I was looking very closely at all the kinds of face washes I could buy from all these different companies. I was obsessing about it. But last week, I was listening to a podcast, and it was a podcast about clean beauty. One of the things that she talked about was something that I've already known, but it reminded me I kind of got away from it. She was talking about in minimalism, one of the things that we should be doing is buying less and buying better. Along with that, we should be thinking about what things can I eliminate from my routine or can serve as double duty. Thinking about, can I reduce what I already own but own less and own better when you have to make a purchase? But I completely forgot about that. I was so excited to buy and to acquire. I wasn't thinking about, where can I own less in my life? Where can I double up in my own life? I just wanted to acquire stuff. So for me, this realization demonstrated that I don't think my mind shift is fully there yet, because I'm still looking for stuff to buy, looking for things that I can break my no buy with, that can be justified purchases. I think realizing that is helpful, and being able to understand why I've been feeling that way and why I've been interested in making purchases. What is grounding my obsession and my interest in buying more stuff. The goal of this no buy is to be able to change the way I look at money and the way I look at my possessions and my actual mindset about these kinds of things. I was thinking this week, if my mindset hasn't changed by December, we're still a long way off. We're not even at the halfway mark. We're close, but we're not there. I'm now starting to think, if I don't have things in order by December, I have to extend the no buy because I haven't achieved what I have set out to. The no buy for me isn't about the longevity or the time span of it, that 12 months. It's about learning foundational lessons. And most of the time you see people doing no buys, they're doing a year, because it's kind of radical. Well, at least it feels radical. It feels radical to me that you're going to not buy anything for a year. But what if you don't learn your goals in a year? It's not about the year, it's about the learning. So if I haven't done the learning, I'm going to extend it. I am invested in myself. I am invested in learning and making the proper changes. So if that doesn't happen by December, it's going to take however long it takes to achieve that. Accepting that, I haven't quite wrapped my mind around it, but I think is important and demonstrates to myself that I'm in this. This no buy isn't surface. It's not about creating content. It's about changing my life and changing my attitude and my mindset. And that was a big deal. Being able to accept that this isn't performative. This is real, and I want it to be real. But I think, or at least I'm starting to really feel as though I really want to make this work. I really want to change my mindset and my habits. And if I haven't been fully invested in the past, I need to start really investing now. I don't mean to say I never cared about it, because let's be clear, I definitely have. But I don't think that I have been as invested that I needed to be to make these changes. Now is the time to get invested, to live the experiment and live the year as best you can, so you can absorb and learn as much as you can. At least that's what it is for me. So I'm kind of excited to turn this page and to make these realizations that I can do better, I can be more invested, and I need to be to make the necessary changes. I have two more things I want to talk about. The first are the cotton pants, and they are a bit of an example. So the cotton pants, I've loved them. I've loved them so much. I bought them, and I think to me they are a bit of a testament to what I was just talking about, because I did not need to buy those. Yes, I am running out of bottoms, but with that, are 3 or 4 bottoms, are they not livable? Is that not livable? Like, how dare I say 4 is not enough? It feels a bit spoiled to say that. So I don't think in that sense that I needed to buy the pants. In some ways, I do feel as though I did need to, because I have never lived with 4. And I do personally feel that I would like to have a pair of pants for every day of the week. That's what I would like, and that to me is what feels livable. and normal, also less than what I have worked with in the past, which is why I bought the pants. So I hope you I think you can see the conflict here of living that experiment of, okay, you have something to live with. It's not ideal, but you have something. And then also measuring acceptability or something being able to meet a requirement because it's not part of what you're used to, what you would prefer. This year is not about what you prefer and what I would prefer to do. This year is about learning to live with what you have. When I look back, I don't think those cotton pants fully belong in with the rules. I don't think I obeyed the rules in buying those pants. It's not about the money in this case. I did have money. I bought them with a part of a tax refund. It's about following the rules and using the rules to learn, and I didn't do that. But more than that, I saw a pair of these oatmeal pants, exact same ones, but in oatmeal, and I drooled over them. I went, I have to have these. I still don't have 7 pairs of pants. I love these. I should definitely get them. And this was 2 weeks after that video I filmed of all the things that I bought in April. 2 weeks later, I wanted those pants. I lusted after them hard. Had they been in stock in my size, I don't know if I would have bought them or not. I'm honestly not entirely sure. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. So the cotton pants are definitely a lesson that I think I am learning again as we're transitioning to summer. So right now, as I speak, it's 40 degrees. It's been 40 for the past 3 days, and we have at least 2 more days to go where it's been like 38, 39, 40. It's so hot. So I've had to pull out shorts that I was not expecting to pull out. And it's these transitional periods that really get me. It's these transitional periods that make me feel as though I don't have the proper wardrobe. I don't have the proper items I need for this season, so I should buy them. I think that's where I went off the wagon before, transitioning to spring. That was a month ago when I made these purchases, maybe a little bit longer, but I also didn't expect within the month of May to have snow and 40-degree temperatures. Anyways, I feel as though because I'm aware about this, that I get really triggered by transitional times, that I'm aware, so you need to do better. You can do better. Being aware gives you no excuse because you know. You don't know what you don't know, but you do know what you do know. And it's what you do with that knowledge that counts. And I want to make it count. I really want to live this transitional period the best I can and not, buy a whole new wardrobe worth of summer stuff. I haven't totally looked at all my summer things yet. I just have pulled out a couple of things, literally a pair of shorts and overalls to kind of just ride the wave a bit because it's supposed to go back to regular temperatures in just a couple of days. So I'm trying to ride it out. And I'm going to look at my summer wardrobe soon to see if I actually need anything. So I'll be far enough away from the summer where I think I'm going to have to take more than 1 week here. I'm going to have to take 2 weeks to see if I actually need anything or is what I have livable. Again, this is not about ideal. It's about, can you live with what you have? That's the headspace I'm in right now. I'm uncertain about the kinds of clothes I have for the summer. Do I have enough to live with what I have? I think that I do. I think I have enough to live to make it livable, but we're going to have to see. And I'm hoping that I can meet my own expectations of living the rest of the year, let's just even say the rest of the month, June, in a way that I intended to meet this challenge head on, to take it as a challenge and to own it and to successfully complete it. That's what I want. I want to get to the end of June knowing that I met my own goals and my own expectation for myself. Anyways, that wraps up this video. There's lots of thoughts and things I had going in here. Let me know any of your comments down below, how you think I did, what I talked about. I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.